So what we've done is we've been so fortunate to be around for 13 years. We have created a putting combine. It's a test, and we're hoping that our voice is loud enough that we can get buy-in from the college coaches, because it's a test that will be consistent whether we're doing it here today or you're doing it with your kids, or an official, we call it, will be administering it around the world. And a college coach can look at the combine score and say, hey, out of the 60 players, here's at least the 10 best putters. So I'm going to walk you through it. And it comes out of an app that we have called Putting Boot Camp, which I'll beg you to download. It's free. The combine is in there. Okay, it's free. They can do the test. They cannot post their combine score. An official has to post it. But they can do the tests. Make sense? So they can go through what you're going to go through. Now here's the big deal about this that makes it so important. And we've got a scoreboard here, but we have to have some way to track our progress. And everybody knows that, right? Nobody, I mean, I don't care what you're doing, you have to have that thing. But there's another element that I didn't invent it, but we call it grit. How do I get through the barren spots between I want to work on this and I just got a little bit worse before I get better? The grit is, how do I get through there? And what Putting Boot Camp does for you as a coach is you get to know when somebody's progressing, when they've stalled, and how to walk in there and kind of help them get to the next level. And that's what it's for. That's what boot camp is for. So we'll roll in games and drills constantly. Yesterday, literally yesterday morning, we launched the updated version, which will give you as a coach a dashboard to see all your players, what their results are, and how they're progressing. It will also give you, as you go through this combine, an area of, this kid is a great short putter, but his mid-range is way below the rest of the team. Or this kid is a great mid-range putter, but he has terrible distance control. And you can prescribe, therefore, drills to match that kid's deficiency. And you don't have to search for it. And you don't have to wonder if their drill is good, and you don't have to wonder if there's new drills to be able to apply it, right? So what I want to do is walk us through there. It's designed to take 13 minutes plus or minus a couple, depending upon your pre-shot routine. Typically, you would walk a kid through it. I set this up this morning in about 10 minutes. We just have a tape measure, we know where to put the tees, and it's pretty good. I'm feeling a little constricted because we got so much downhill and we got so much grain going that way that it's a little hard to find putts that make some sense. So we'll probably put about 3 of us in the boot camp at once, and then I've got a bunch of aids laid out. There's only 3 tools. There's a mirror, there's these orange things we call a slot trainer, and then the yellow things we call a putting sword. They are a tool that we work with a lot with colleges. It's just it's a great little kit for your players to have. This little mirror, as of last week, 12 of the top 15 in the world golf rankings use that mirror. So let me walk you through this real quickly, and then you're going to be on your own to keep track of your scores, okay? So here's what we got. I'm going to take them in sequence because we've got them numbered. It's 50 putts. None of them are the same. None of them are the same. And what we're going to do is post your score. And the reason I want to post your score is I want you to feel what your kid's going to feel like, because a college coach can look at your combine score. These are numbers from the tour. The tour makes, for all intents and purposes, 100% of their 3-footers, 99 point pick a number, right? So we've got 5 3-footers, which, by the way, is a better drill than a box. You know, we always did the 4 corners. A star, which is what I call it, is better because no putts are the same. So you're gonna hit 1 putt from 3 feet and work your way around, right? You ought to make all of them, but that's the deal. When you get finished with that, you back and you're gonna write your score down, hopefully 5 of 5. You're gonna back up 1 more. From 8 feet, from 5 feet, they make about 80%. 75% is what I'm gonna say. You got 5 attempts around, right? Take your time, no rush, line it up, go through your routine, do whatever you do. Go through all 5 from 5 feet. From 8 feet, which is the next one, the tour makes 50%, 51% is what the number is. We're gonna work our way around all the black tees, right? And then we drop back to this tee back here, which is 14 feet. The tour makes 25%, right? But they make 25%. So take your time and work your way through that. So we're testing what I call makeable putts. You ought to make them all, you ought to make most of them, you ought to make some of them, you ought to make one. That's kind of how I view it, right?
So from this one, just go to the next one?
Yep, you just go all the whites, all the reds, all the blacks, all the whatever color that is, yellow, green. Got it? That's one test, but that's 20 out of the 50 putts are right here, the makeable putts. Then we're going to change it up. So when I'm teaching a lot of clinics, one of the things that I notice, especially with younger players, if they've got a 4-footer or a 5-footer, they either make it or they roll it by 3 or 4 feet. And if you looked at your kid's play, you'd go, well, the kid's pretty good, but he 3-putted twice from 5 feet. And he didn't leave it short and 3-putt, he blew it by. So this is a pretty simple test. And this is a little tough on the screen because there's a lot of break, but the idea is I'm gonna go from this tee and I've got a foot past the hole to roll it. Plenty of room if you're trying to hit it the right speed, right? So we just make that putt and that's in, okay? You got 5 putts here. You ought to make them all, right? But then we back up to 6 feet and we go to the pink line, which by the way, this is sidewalk chalk, one of the all-time great putting aids. It absolutely washes away in a heartbeat. You can do a zillion things with it. You can write, you can make, you know, it's a great way to do this. So the idea with this, now I've got to the pink line, right? I would say that missed, right? You get the idea? Now think about the quality of this for your players. If I have good speed control on shorter putts, I will make them. If I don't, and I've got a putt with a little break, I'll blow it right through the break, and then I'll blame my stroke or I'll say I misread it, when in reality, I hit it too hard. And we don't think about speed with shorter putts, right? So we got 3, 6, we drop back to 9, and we've got the back line for that.
Out on boot camp, does it explain how
yep,
to do it?
all of these are in there. They're not at this moment, it came up yesterday morning, so we haven't been able to load all the deals, but probably through the weekend it'll be done. Got it? So that's the second thing. So you kind of get the idea that and where this came from, by the way, I talked to probably 50 college coaches and as many tour player coaches as I could about it, and we just kept refining it, what's important and what's not.